consciously set your intention. This spiritual resource offers the twin gifts of clarity and focus. Clarity and focus. When you set your intention to make a way for sanctuary, this life-affirming action will actually ensure a difference in your life today and a different tomorrow. Now, if you're in a place where you have access to a candle, I want you to actually go get that candle. And if you don't, I want you to just imagine that you have a candle in front of you. And I want you to light a candle to remind yourself that setting your intention is a sacred moment. Lighting a candle is a time-honored way to bring light into darkness, to bring light into a broken, frazzled world. In this way, lighting the candle, you focus your intention on what truly matters. Now, did you know that when you set your intention, it's actually an antidote? That's right. It's an antidote to distraction. So, if you want to get rid of distraction, drama, and other disruptions or disturbances in your life, then you must be intentional. You must set your intention. The next spiritual resource is commitment. So let's talk about that. What is commitment? Well, commitment is all about dedication and faithfulness. Commitment is about going all the way, not part of the way, but all the way. The invitation is to commit to your own well-being. Making an intentional commitment to your own well-being is a special gift, a gift from you and for you. This gift draws you in to an oasis of self-love and self-care. Here, in this awesome, beautiful oasis, you can refresh yourself in the sacred waters of awe, beauty, humor, joy, play, silence, solitude, and wonder. I want you to take the time to write this out. So if you don't already have a notepad or a small sheet of paper, a sticky note, go and get yourself one, okay? And write this down. I commit to my own well-being. Okay? I commit to my own well-being. And I want you to put your note in a place where you will see it throughout the day. Maybe it's your kitchen, your refrigerator, maybe it's your mirror in your bathroom, wherever it is that you pass through day after day, and you can look at that several times a day. I want you to see that note that you just wrote to yourself. And I want you to do this for the next 30 days. Why? Because it takes about that long, 28 to 30 days, to form a new habit. Okay? Now, commitment turns vision into volition. All right? The next spiritual resource is compassion. And compassion is all about being aware and caring and kind. It's also about being courageous, about being willing to help others who are suffering. Compassion invites you to begin with yourself, which is a wondrous gift. Why? Because beginning with yourself opens your heart to have compassion and mercy for others. Now, I want you to find a few things around your home or your yard or your office that are heart-shaped. I enjoy collecting heart-shaped rocks. Over the years, people who know me know I love to collect hearts, so I've received gifts of hearts shaped from wood, from onyx, soapstone, I also love photos of plants with heart-shaped leaves. I know when I go on my walks, I actually look for plants with heart-shaped leaves as well. Hosta, beech trees, violets, morning glory, anthurium. Love those plants, right? Now take a picture, either a mental picture or a physical picture, of your favorite heart shape, and keep it as a reminder as your own heart opens to have greater compassion for yourself and for other folks in your life. The Dalai Lama reminds us that love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, he says, humanity cannot survive. So love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Humility. So what is humility? A lot of us get confused about humility. Humility is not thinking any more or less of yourself than you think of anyone else. That's right. In other words, you value and honor yourself the same as you do other people. Humility invites you to ask yourself a very important question. How can I support my own health and happiness in this moment? Now, one of the many gifts of humility is inspiration. Inspire comes from the Latin word inspirare, which means to breathe into or upon. When we are inspired, we are infused with life from a force outside of ourselves. I'm a person of faith, so I believe that God is that force that breathes into and upon us to infuse us with new life. Now, on your daily or weekly to-do list, I want you to be sure to write your own name. Okay? On your daily or weekly to-do list, please be sure to include in that list your own name. And I want you to write the word sanctuary next to your name. And be sure to put your name and sanctuary on the very top of your daily or your weekly to-do list. Okay? The next spiritual resource is joy. Now, joy invites us to recognize the divinity within ourselves. That's right, the divinity within ourselves. Now, sometimes we confuse happiness and joy. Okay? Happiness comes from the outside. Joy comes from within. Happiness is a free-flowing stream. Joy is white water exhilaration. Happiness is often fleeting, right? Here today, poof, gone. Joy is constant. True joy, which is a precious, precious gift, comes from the satisfaction of being content with and faithful to who and whose you are. Let Pierre Teilhard de Chardin's words encourage you. He says, joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. I love that. So, celebrate yourself. Sing your favorite song and dance like no one is watching. Now, I'm going to give you a few practices to help you cultivate sanctuary. Okay? The spiritual resources help you make a way for sanctuary, and these are the practices to help you cultivate sanctuary. Rumi says, there's a way of breathing. There is a way of breathing that's a shame and a suffocation. And there's another way of expiring, a love breath that lets you open infinitely. Practices form us. In other words, practices train us how to be as we move through our days. A good practice is life-giving and life-affirming. Like a love breath, it allows our soul to open wide. Can I just tell you that life is exquisitely better when you include at least one life-giving practice in the regular rhythm of your daily and weekly routines? Your practice can be as simple as saying thank you to welcome each new day. Or it can be something more, maybe 5 minutes each day to jot down who and what you're grateful for. 5 minutes of being still, absolutely still, on purpose. And then next week, bump it up to 10 minutes. Here's what matters most. Be intentional and choose a practice that delights and refreshes you. Because if it's a chore, and if you dread doing it, guess what? It won't be a practice. It won't be a life-giving practice, right? So be intentional and choose a practice that both delights you, makes you laugh, makes your face just light up, and a practice that refreshes you. Now, when you do this, when you make that choice, you will find it much, much easier to commit to your practice on a regular basis. In fact, I like to say when you practice your practice regularly and with delight, it can actually make your interior life more bountiful and satisfying. And as that bounty and satisfaction renews and invigorates your inner life, it will begin to seep into your outer life. So let's talk a little bit more about these practices. Sanctuary practices. Now, sanctuary speaks the language of the soul. Now, some of you may not know about what that means. So I'm going to just share a little bit about the language of the soul. The soul's language includes gratitude, beauty, and silence. Right? Now, there are numerous practices from many contexts around the world that cultivate sanctuary. The key practices that I want to share with you are gratitude, beauty, silence, those languages of the soul, right? Gratitude, beauty, silence, music, solitude, being with nature, prayer, slowing, and reflection. Now, I've used these practices with people of all ages in diverse contexts: aerospace, business, civic, community, education, faith-based, finance, healthcare, human services, tech, right? IT, law, leadership development, the military, philanthropy, political science, social justice, and on and on. I wish I had time to delve into all the places and all the practices right here, but I don't. So, if you want to learn more, again, please check out my book, which is called Sanctuary. Here's what I want you to do. As you learn about the different practices that I'll share with you today, I want you to choose just one that suits you, and then try it out for a while, right? And then when you get used to it and you go, oh yeah, I really like this one, this is really a good fit for me, then I want you to add another practice.